Hello and good night. Welcome to another bedtime story. This story is meant to help you sleep or to relax your mind. Try and find a comfortable place, such as your bed or a soft chair. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes now. Try and let go of the day as we begin our tale. Tonight's story is The Emperor and the Nightingale. Once upon a time, in the vast empire of China, there lived an empire who resided in a magnificent palace made of the finest porcelain. The palace was so delicate and splendid that even the slightest touch could break it. Surrounding the palace was an exquisite garden filled with the most beautiful flowers, each carefully arranged by expert gardeners. Beyond the garden lay a vast forest, and in that forest lived a little grey nightingale whose song was said to be the most beautiful in the entire empire. Travelers from every corner of the world came to the emperor's palace to marvel at its beauty and the grandeur of the empire. They wrote books and poems about the palace, the gardens, and the wonders of China. Yet amidst all the splendor, what impressed visitors most was the song of the little nightingale. Its voice was so enchanting that those who heard it often wept with joy. The emperor, however, knew nothing of the nightingale. He was a man consumed by the beauty of his possessions and the praise of his courtiers, who surrounded him day and night. No one in the court had ever mentioned the nightingale to him, for they were too busy flattering him and boasting of the wonders of the palace. One day, the emperor received a book from a foreign king. As he flipped through the pages, he read about the palace, the gardens, and the nightingale. The book praised the bird's song above all else, calling it the greatest treasure of the empire. The emperor was surprised and angered. "What is this nightingale?" he demanded. "How is it that I, the Emperor of China, do not know of such a treasure in my own kingdom? Why has no one told me?" The courtiers were flustered and confused. They had never paid attention to the bird and were too afraid to admit their ignorance. The emperor ordered them to find the nightingale and bring it to him at once. "If it is as wonderful as the book says, I wish to hear it sing tonight," he commanded. The courtiers searched high and low, but had no idea where to find the bird. Finally, they came upon a poor kitchen maid who worked in the palace. She was the only one who knew the nightingale well, for she often wandered into the forest to gather herbs and berries and would listen to its song. "Oh yes," the maid said, "I know the nightingale. Its song is so lovely that it makes my heart swell with joy. I can take you to it." The courtiers followed the maid deep into the forest until they came to a large tree. There, perched on a branch, was the little grey bird. "Is this the famous Nightingale?" one courtier asked in disbelief. "It looks so plain and ordinary." But as the nightingale began to sing, its voice silenced their doubts. The courtiers were moved to tears, and they begged the bird to come to the palace and sing for the emperor. The nightingale was humble and kind. "My song is best heard in the forest where I am free," it said, "but I will come to the palace to sing for the emperor if it pleases him." That evening, the nightingale was brought before the emperor. It sang a melody so pure and beautiful that the emperor's heart melted. He was moved to tears, as well as the courtiers. "Such a voice must remain in my palace," the emperor declared. "I will keep the nightingale here, and it shall sing for me every day." Though the nightingale wished to remain free, it agreed to stay in the palace out of kindness. The emperor placed it in a golden cage and allowed it to fly around the palace gardens, under supervision, of course. The bird sang every day, and its song brought great joy to everyone in the court. One day, a package arrived at the palace. Inside was a mechanical nightingale, a gift from the Emperor of Japan. The mechanical bird was covered in gold and jewels, and when wound up, it sang a tune that mimicked the real nightingale's song. The court was dazzled by its glittering appearance and perfect precision. The emperor declared that the mechanical bird was superior to the real one. "It does not tire, and its song is always the same," he said. "We no longer need the real nightingale." The real nightingale was heartbroken, but did not complain. It flew back to the forest, where it could sing freely once more. The court, meanwhile, celebrated the mechanical bird and praised it endlessly. They wound it up every day, and it sang the same song over and over again. The emperor was delighted and proclaimed it his favorite possession. For a time, all was well, but then the mechanical bird began to wear out. Its gears and springs grew rusty, and its song became less melodious. The courtiers tried to repair it, but it could only sing a few notes before breaking down entirely. The emperor was devastated and fell into a deep melancholy. Without the nightingale's song, the palace felt empty and cold. Years passed, and the emperor grew old and ill. He lay in his bed, surrounded by silence. The courtiers had abandoned him, fearing his impending death. Alone and despairing, the emperor longed to hear the nightingale's song once more. As he lay in the stillness of his chamber, a sweet and familiar melody filled the air. It was the real nightingale, perched on the windowsill. The bird had heard of the emperor's illness and returned to comfort him. The nightingale sang of love, hope, and renewal. Its song was so moving that the emperor's heart lightened, and he felt a renewed strength. Tears streamed down his face as he listened, and he realized the error of his ways. "Dear Nightingale," he said, "I was foolish to value the false over the true. Please, forgive me and stay." The Nightingale replied, "I cannot stay within your palace walls, but I will come and sing for you whenever you wish. My song is a gift, not something to be possessed." The Emperor nodded, his heart full of gratitude. The Nightingale sang one final song before flying back to the forest. The Emperor recovered from his illness and ruled with wisdom and kindness. He often visited the forest to hear the Nightingale's song, cherishing it as the greatest treasure of his empire. The tale of the Emperor and the Nightingale spread far and wide, a reminder of the value of true beauty, freedom, and the simple joys of life. And so, the Emperor and the Nightingale remained friends until the end of their days, each bringing joy to the other in their own way, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed the tale tonight. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more audiobooks and tales to come. Until next time.